I've said it and let me say it again. What frustrates me about what we do now, our interactions between public and private sector, we always are adopting this touch and go attitude, and we will never do anything with touch and go. No, we're just running around making speeches here, speech there, speech the other place. We never get time to sit down and listen to the people who actually matter, who are the people we govern, and who are the people who are running this economy, who are yourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Fred Matiang'i is one of the favorites of Kenyans in 2027. And in fact, people are saying he's a Kibaki type of a person. And the way he does his politics, you can admire to some extent. Now, why are Kenyans saying that Dr. Fred Matiang'i is a good candidate? First, Dr. Fred Matiang'i has a good track record. When he served in the docket of ICT, he transformed the country from analog to digital. When he served in education, he transformed the country from stealing of exams to seriously people doing their own work. He transformed the education sector immensely. Ladies and gentlemen, when he went to the interior docket, he went there when Joseph Olenkaiser had just passed on, and that Kenya was facing a threat from the Al-Shabaab. Dr. Fred Matiang'i was able to engineer a fight against the terror attack. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, as we speak today, he has a greater potential of getting financial support to engineer a serious campaign in this country. Those are some of the key things that make him to be a very strong candidate in 2027. Apart from that, Dr. Fred Matiang'i is also acceptable across the country. People perceive him to be a leader, not as such as a kisi. So therefore, Dr. Fred Matiang'i has a better chance when it comes to those 4 aspects or 5. Now, I want to state it here categorically that Dr. Fred Matiang'i has some challenges, some obstacles that can let him down when it comes to the presidential ambitions in this country. And that is what I want to highlight here on this particular video. But before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Makwa Times, please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. My number is always here. For those who want to talk to me, share with me, support the channel, please feel free to do so. Without much wasting of time, allow me to dive into this topic here today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with what we call the party issue. That is my number 1 obstacle. A party is one of the best platforms to anchor your ideas, get your supporters, and create your bases. Most importantly, attract powerful candidates. As we speak today, Dr. Fred Matiang'i is yet to declare officially that is Jubilee, UPA, or PNU. But as I said in other videos, it's most likely to be Jubilee. But when look at the party issue, even if it's Jubilee, it is not 100% going to anchor the interests of Kenyans, more especially in the leaders who want to vie with Dr. Fred Matiang'i. Why? It's because of the history where parties have never vied for presidency twice. Secondly, it's also the issue of the bad things that happened during Uhuru Kenyatta's times. Thirdly, it's also the current management that has been happening. So therefore, it becomes a bit of a challenge. Also, considering it's a party from the Mount Kenya region, it's a big issue, considering that Rigathi Gachagua wants to take control of that region entirely. So therefore, it's going to be a big issue and an obstacle for Dr. Fred Matiang'i. But of course, based on his intelligence, he can work out ways to maneuver and be able to go through that kind of an obstacle. But I want to state it categorically that Kenyans also, it is not just some leaders. Kenyans wanted Dr. Fred Matiang'i to come up with his own party, brand it by himself, make it a popular party in the country, attract leaders, and eventually avoid the tag of being a project. Now see what is happening. It's being called a project by members of the opposition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, another obstacle that I can see is the issue of his political behavior. Dr. Fred Matiang'i has been behaving uniquely, and that one we have to admit, across. And his behavior, honestly speaking, Kenyans are not used to it when it comes to politics. The type of a person Kenyans want is a Kibaki, but politically, he's a normal politician. Dr. Fred Matiang'i, to be honestly speaking, he is not a normal politician. He's very silent, something that even Kibaki is not used to do. Dr. Fred Matiang'i leaves the country and no one knows. He comes back, no one knows. Why is he silent? Those are questions that Kenyans keep asking themselves. And as a result, when I collect data across, people are thinking he might not go for the presidency. Others are taking serious some of the allegations that he's a government project. And these are some of the things that are obstacles to Dr. King Fred Matiang'i's success. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing that you have to state it here categorically is this. When you have a party, then you are not silent. You involve the people of Kenya. I am coming. I am leaving. I have this rally in Meru. Like in Meru, actually, most people did not know that it was in Meru. When you do inform the Kenyans, they feel that they are part of you. They feel your presence. But now Dr. King Fred Matiang'i has decided it is my team. Apart from my team, the people I'm going to meet. That becomes a challenge. The perception that we create is there is that people have been alienated from Dr. King Fred Matiang'i. It's becoming a deep set of a behavior where he's a leader, he's a person in power. Getting him, knowing what he's doing, it's not easy. That is not something that should be happening to somebody who wants to become a president of this country. William Ruto was really available. Rigathi Gachagua is also available, but not that much, but he's available. Maraga is available. Even Uhuru Kenyatta was available. You could find Uhuru Kenyatta somewhere having his drink. And people could be very excited. That is very important. Availability to the people. When you keep off yourself from the people so much, you tend to be a deep state instead of being a common leader who wants the people's support. So the people don't get to own you. Very important. Owning you is very important. Now, ladies and gentlemen, another thing I want to talk about here, it's the issue to do with going for politicians. Dr. King Fred Matiang'i, I feel strongly seeking support from politicians instead of politicians seeking support from him. If it is true that indeed Dr. King Fred Matiang'i is seeking support from politicians, then there's something wrong with him. Politically, there's something wrong. He should have a certain momentum that people, other politicians, either developing or maybe intending to come into politics for the first time, they can be very comfortable and they feel that they are safe, politically safe. So they can comfortably come to you once everything is okay with you. But if you realize you're going for them and they're not coming for you, then there's something that needs to be done. So I feel strongly if Dr. King Fred Matiang'i right now as we speak, he's going for politicians, Peter Munya and others, having talks here and there, calling them, the fact remains that he's not heading to the right direction. Dr. King Fred Matiang'i should create a momentum, get his own base, campaign seriously, even come up with some youthful people to help him in his campaigns. People can even help some politicians who will come to support Dr. King Fred Matiang'i. When Matiang'i creates a momentum, leaders will come looking for him, and eventually they will find having a very strong team around him. And most of them, to be honestly saying here, is that there will be strong people politically at the grassroots, and that will give him votes, members of parliament and senators. But when he looks to leaders, he looks for leaders. When it comes to nomination, these people will let him down, some of them, and he will end up not having very good leaders by his side. Apart from that, there will be chaos in case they are not considered during the nominations. People want direct tickets and stuff. Therefore, Dr. King Fred Matiang'i should concentrate much on branding himself, making himself one of the best leaders in the country. But if he's aiming for support from leaders, he'll get it wrong. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I think he's also relying on some old politicians. William Ruto, when he wanted to get into presidency, he went for people like Ndindi Nyoro, Methu here, the first-time senator, and plus many other leaders, Anthony Kibagendi, Silvana Susoro. People are young, Sairi Janda. People have never been in politics before. And even if they have been for a short time, and they're also young, these people can campaign, can talk to the people, and they can be loyal to some extent. That energy these young people have cannot be brought on by old guys like Peter Munya, Kiraitu Murungi, and even any other person from across the country who has been in politics before. So Dr. King Fred Matiang'i should not rely on them. Have young and vibrant Kenyans who have already come out in various platforms and have proven to be vibrant people who might not have money as such, who might not be in so much in politics, but I'll be able to speak to the people and portray Matiang'i as one of the best leaders in the country as we speak. I don't know what is your take on your view on what Dr. King Fred Matiang'i is doing, but you can look at it and probably try to share with me in the comment section, more especially on what I have said. My name is Abdul Mukwa. See you next time for more videos.